What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Chromecast. Today we have an interview episode with Victor Tyan, who leads the Compute Go-to-Market initiatives in the Americas and Europe for MediaTek. For any of our longtime listeners, you know that we have been excited about and have been talking about the potential of ARM-based Chromebooks for a while now. So it was fun to chat with Victor about their new lineup of Kompanio chips and how they're bringing new levels of performance and battery life to Chromebooks. So without any further ado, here's my conversation with Victor from MediaTek. Alrighty, welcome, Victor. Thanks so much for taking some time to come on the Chromecast. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we were chatting a little bit before we started rolling here about how we just kind of ran into each other the last time at a MediaTek Executive Summit. It just kind of worked out. It was perfect. We were grabbing some lunch, and I was taking some notes, chatting with the guys, sending them photos and everything, and then I look up and there's Victor, the guy that was just on stage talking about Chromebooks, and I was like, perfect. And so it's great to see you again remotely, and hopefully, at some point in the future again. So thanks for taking the time today. And I think I just wanted to start with a little bit of an introduction, because we've worked with MediaTek. You all have been a great partner. We've done some fun things together. We gave away a ton of MediaTek powered devices last year as we did our On the Run to 200K giveaway. But for those listening who maybe aren't super familiar with MediaTek, I'd like for you to just give a little bit of an introduction of who is MediaTek, what do you all do, and how does it fit into the Chromebook space?
Sure. Again, really excited to be here and talking with you folks. MediaTek is a global fabless semiconductor company. So fabless means we design our chipsets, we outsource them to be manufactured by companies like TSMC, foundry companies. We develop chipset platforms primarily for the consumer market. So we're in smartphones. We're actually the leader in smartphones today. We're in tablets, we're in smart assistants, we're in networking equipment, TVs, and of course Chromebooks. We power over 2 billion devices each year, which is an outstanding number. And in many ways, I'm pretty sure we're in people's homes today in some form or another, whether it's your TV or your smartphone or your networking equipment. And in Chromebook space, we've really been a lifeline, I think, to people throughout the pandemic, providing a lot of those Chromebooks that have been used for remote education, remote work, online learning, and so forth. In a nutshell, that's what MediaTek is about. And, we can talk a little bit more about the Chromebook space that I think is more kind of dear to your heart. Yeah.
But it is interesting, whenever we were doing the giveaway, just so many different devices that you all power. And there's a lot of folks out there that would never know that that's the chip that's powering those devices, but you all are in so many devices. And I've seen, especially in the last, little bit here, you all being a little bit more public and a little bit more out there and telling people a little bit more about who you are. The smartphone number is incredible to me. How many smartphone devices did you say you all are in? Or was it total devices that you were saying a second ago?
Yeah, we will ship over 2 billion devices a year across all our product segments.
Yeah.
So that's smartphone included. In the smartphone space, we've been increasing our share quarter by quarter, actually. Today, we're probably in the 40% range in terms of overall market share. So pretty significant player.
I'll just ask broad questions for those who are listening, maybe all over the world. Are there devices in the U.S. that are smartphones that are powered by MediaTek chips, or are they primarily overseas? Where are people buying smartphone chips specifically that are MediaTek?
Yeah, obviously China is a big market for us. India is another big market. Southeast Asia, that whole area there is definitely a big focus for us, just because the company's headquartered out of Asia. Mm-hmm. Europe is another big market for us, and so is Latin America. Latin America, we have over 40% share there. In the U.S., we're also increasing our share year by year. Depends on how you look at it. If it's an Android share, there's lots of numbers have been being tossed around today by IDC and Counterpoint. But you'll see devices in the US from Motorola, from TCL, all using MediaTek in the North America market.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right though. The phone stuff is interesting, and whenever the headlines came out, about your market share, and how many devices you all are in, that's interesting stuff. But for us, we care about the Chromebooks, right? So
Yep.
so talk a little bit about maybe some of those early devices that we saw that were powered by MediaTek, and then we can kind of transition into some of these newer devices that you all are putting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, MediaTek's been participating in the Chromebook program since about 2015 timeframe. So we've been there for quite some time. Right now, we've got the leadership position in ARM-based Chromebooks. And actually, just second half of last year, we took over the number 2 position overall in the program. So, of course, with all the supply issues going on, some of our competitors had some challenges, and we're able to really deliver into the market.
Wow.
And and until late of 21, we've been playing exclusively in the entry segment. And for us, the entry segment is basically devices that are geared towards students, value consumers, folks that are looking for basic computing and browsing and productivity, collaboration, entertainment, all those different areas. And we've been able to provide very attractive devices. I think the Lenovo Duet was probably one of the stars. A lot of folks know about it. It's done really well in both consumer and education. We've got devices like the Acer Spin 311, HP 11A, Asus Detachable CM3. Those were very great devices, extremely long battery life, 10 up to maybe 15-hour battery life. Had very, very good multi-core multitasking performance, primarily because we leverage the octa-core architecture from our smartphone design. So we bring that into compute. That gives us a very good way to control the power levels as we enable the different cores. And it also gives us just more parallel processing. So we get better performance when we're doing multitasking. So these were basically the devices that we had kind of until late last year. And then I think you've heard of our Kompanio rebranding, which was primarily set forth because we were starting to move up in the tier. So we wanted to help consumers understand where products fit within our portfolio. And we came up with the Kompanio branding, which is basically 3 tiers: Kompanio 500 for that entry segment, Kompanio 800 series for the mid, and then Kompanio 1000 for the premium. So today, it's really exciting because now we start to see devices that are starting to fall into the mid-range, the premium, and maybe we can share a little bit of details around some of those devices and the value prop they bring. But very excited to be here finally, where we have ARM basically Chromebooks across the whole range of the portfolio.
We've been talking about it for so long. If you go back and listen to a lot of our episodes last year on the Chromecast, we kept saying like ARM Chromebooks are coming, and they're gonna be amazing, and we're gonna continue to see an evolution of ARM Chromebooks. But you mentioned the Duet, and there are so many people that bought that device. I mean, I know, we had people asking a lot of questions about that device. There was a lot of interest in that device. For those who don't know, who just went and bought it because they wanted a Chrome OS tablet, what chipset did that have in it, and maybe where is that falling in the line now with the rebranding, so that people can maybe understand where that device was and maybe where we're heading?
Yeah, so that chipset is basically what we're calling the Kompanio 500. Was also referred to as the 8183. You may have heard of it with that part number. We're trying to move away from those just to make it easier on folks. But yeah, that's the Kompanio 500, the entry segment SoC. And now the step up above that, the Kompanio 800 series, basically gives you double the performance over the Kompanio 500. So that's the step that you see to the tier just above the Kompanio 500.
And so let's talk about a couple of the devices that are out there that have that kind of level of SoC. One that we just put out this video very recently, last week. I don't remember exactly. I'm looking over at the guys. I think it was I think it was last week. So the Acer 514 with the Kompanio 828. So that is that's kind of the middle tier now of the lineup, and I just I remember Robbie, we did the unboxing, and it was an unboxing of the device, but it was more an unboxing of the processor inside because we were very curious to see how this processor would perform. And the one thing that we put out on social media was kind of part of Robbie's narrative in the unboxing article, is that he just felt like, this is a processor that's going to be good enough for most people to get most things done. And I think, like, can you talk a little bit more about where that kind of, when you say middle tier, people don't know what that means as far as performance. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the daily use, or like where you all anticipate that SoC or that level of SoC kind of fitting in?
Yeah, sure. Kompanio 800 series, I mean, if you think about it, it's geared towards educators, like teachers, students that want a higher performance, let's say from the basic entry, and consumers who also want that mid-range experience. So you're talking about, doing, for example, browsing, 24 plus tabs, right? So you're opening a number of tabs. You're getting your productivity, your collaboration, your entertainment, still the same functions that you were doing before with your Kompanio 500 series. You're doing them now with more ease. You have typically more memory on the device is what the OEMs will add in that kind of mid-segment range. So you have probably like 8 gigabytes to work with. So you're able to do things a little bit more easily. Multitasking is obviously enhanced. You're going to have more capability to run multiple tasks at the same time. You don't have to worry so much about apps that you keep open. You can keep 5, 6 apps all open at the same time, and they won't necessarily collide with each other. Obviously, in the entry segment, you still have to worry a little bit about how many things you're opening up. And like I said, it's about 2x the performance versus the Kompanio 500. So now a lot more snappy, a lot more responsive type of experience. And I think I read the article that you're mentioning because it got published just last week. And I really agree with it. I think this type of performance is actually very suitable for many folks out there. Unless you're really doing some kind of video editing or something that's very high in terms of compute, this kind of performance really meets the needs of a majority of consumers out there. So very excited about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we are too. It's it's exciting. And you mentioned EDU stuff, and that market. We had seen so many devices for so many years that were just not great and didn't have good performance. And it was unfortunate. We saw that there were so many students out there using Chromebooks, which we love, right? But they were getting a bad experience from the OS just because of the chips not being able to perform. And now you're saying this 800 level you think will be a good fit for EDU, and you think that that's something that will be in EDU devices?
Probably more for the teachers out there, I would say, because the price points are going to be a little bit higher with the Kompanio 800 series. You're probably talking 350 to maybe 450, let's say that range. So that might still be a little bit challenging for some of the students out there, but for students, the Kompanio 500 series actually does very well, I think. We'll have an extra version of that chipset coming, which will bring more performance into that entry segment. So we're taking care of that kind of entry space, democratizing technology, making it available to everyone. But now this is one step above, where if you want a little bit more performance and ability to run multiple applications, and the 8 gigabytes of RAM will open up a whole slew of new use cases. That's kind of where you step in.
I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I think like the one thing that's interesting, and I feel like you and I chatted about this last time we spoke, is that you have so many people that are out there, so many students that are out there who are using Chromebooks. They're growing up on Chrome OS. That's their preferred, OS. It's the one that they know how to get around. It's the one they know how to use. And they've maybe used devices at schools, but now they're maybe graduating and getting their own device. And now they're searching for that next Chromebook that they might want to go get. And now they can say, oh, hey, here's this next one up that I can go get that has this extra stuff, that has this more performance. The OS is always the same, right? But you can make choices on processor and build, and you can see kind of the evolution of Chrome OS happening in that way. And it's just great to have, more devices out there and more options
More
for,
options.
just more options. So,
Yeah.
so anything else on the kind of 800 level? So those are, you were kind of saying like mid-tier price points on those.
Yeah.
514 is the one that we have. I think we ended up calling it the world's first because we're fairly certain that's the first one that we've had. I know there was, what was it, Rob? We were talking about like the 820 was out in the other one, the Asus.
Right. Right.
Right, the CM3,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, and actually those two devices, the Asus CM3200 and the Chromebook 514, what I love about them is they each have their own unique value proposition, right? I don't know if you've seen the Asus CM3200, but this is a extremely stylish device, very kind of lightweight. It's like 2.4 pounds, I think. So easy to carry around with you. Very kind of snappy. You can open it up and start working right away. It's got the Kompanio 820, so that gives you that double the performance versus the Kompanio 500 right out of the box. It's an excellent mid-range, I think, performance device. It's got a 3x2 display, so it's also very nice to work with emails and documents. And it has 16 hours of battery life. I mean, so again, forget about your charger. Toss that device into your tote bag and off you go. That's really our vision of computing. Being able to take a device with you and get that performance and never have to worry about charging. So I think that device is really kind of unique in that sense. And then the Asa Chromebook 514. I read your review and I very much agreed with some of the points in there. I look at that device as it's a workhorse. I mean, that device, you have no excuses anymore for not getting your work done. You're getting the Kompanio 828, which is like 10-15% higher performance over the Kompanio 820. So a little bump there in performance. You're getting a 14-inch display, so you're able to work on your spreadsheets and documents easily. It's all still sleek and lightweight. That's the great thing about it.
Yep.
15 hours of battery life. Wi-Fi 6, so you're connected, very well into the internet, and then you've got your 8 gigabytes of RAM to work with. So that device it's just a workhorse. I mean, it's one that will keep kind of allowing you to get your work done. The battery is just incredible. I mean, when you use that device, the battery level stays so solid throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's just very impressive. So those two devices, I think, are kind of different in a sense. If you want to be lightweight and just kind of on the go, the Asus is probably better your device. And if you want something where you can actually sit down and get a lot of different use cases, the Chromebook 514 is an awesome device for that.
Yeah. So that's kind of that middle chunk. And as we kind of said in our unboxing, the performance there in a lot of these devices are going to be enough performance for most people. But now let's talk about that next step up, which for us as, the Chrome OS nerds who want to do as much as we possibly can on Chromebooks, we're very interested in that upper tier. So what do you all have to offer in that upper tier?
Yeah, and so the upper tier is again a segment we've all been very excited about, because this is basically where you get into that space where the processor speed is no longer a main concern of yours. You have enough horsepower to get pretty much anything you want done. And we've got two chipsets in that tier, the Kompanio 1200 and the Kompanio 1380. The Kompanio 1380 is the one that will be coming first to the market with the Asus Spin 513. And that's it's an amazing device. I've been playing around with it for the last few weeks. I think I saw a video that you also posted, which was also very impressive. I mean, again, this is a device we've all been waiting for. No compromises anymore. It's 6 nanometers, 3 gigahertz of frequency in terms of the CPU. Extremely fast and responsive, gorgeous display. Again, you get your 10 hours of battery life and all this amazing kind of higher tier performance. Comes with Wi-Fi 6. And again, this is a device that starts to step into you can start to work actually on cloud gaming, Android gaming, all these run so well on that device. Media creation, media editing, Those are, again, functions that this device will do very well in addition to everything else, your standard collaboration, productivity, entertainment.
Yeah. And still getting that increased battery life that you were talking about on the kind of middle tier?
Yeah, so this device has been very well sort of balanced between performance, weight, and overall power efficiency. So it's been designed to be very sleek looking, very thin, very lightweight, but still giving you that 10 hours of battery life. And, you may see other OEMs come up with different formulas, but that's one formula that I think really resonates well. But we'll see other OEMs coming through the rest of the year and with more devices with those two chipsets.
Yeah, we cannot wait. Yes, the 513 we loved getting that one. I said it whenever we talked about it on the podcast, whenever we had them here, but shout out to Acer for getting us that device and letting us spend some time with it. And yeah, we're just really excited about those because as we've talked about more options and people maybe learning on Chrome OS, but then maybe transitioning, or maybe they just, during the pandemic, they went and bought just the cheapest device they could because they just needed a device at home to get work done or to do virtual learning, remote learning. And now they're saying, oh, wow, I actually really like this. What else is out there? What can I go get? Is there a higher performance Chromebook out there? And now you're starting to see those. And we obviously are always pushing Chromebooks to the limits and wanting to see what all we can get out of them. And so, this higher tier for us is really interesting, and we can't wait to see more devices. The 1200, is there anything that you can share more about with that one? Obviously 1380 we've seen in the Spin 513. Is there anything right now that you can say that has that chip in it that's coming, or is there kind of any info on that?
Yeah, I mean, we do have OEMs lined up with that chipset, so we should start to see some time, in the near future, devices launching with that chipset. So we'll have both the 1200, 1380. The 1380 was actually the first ARM-based premium Chromebook. To your point earlier, Google's putting a lot of focus too to help consumers understand the tiering. So the 800 kind of falls under the plus tiering, and then the 1380 is actually the first premium based. So no, we'll see devices across the range coming.
Love it. And you probably knew this was going to happen. I've got to ask about tablets because we love tablets. Obviously, the Duet showed that there were a lot of people out there that are interested in a Chrome OS tablet. This 1380 is a SoC that we could see a tablet that has it's portable. You can take it home. You can use it at home. You can use it for content consumption, but then you could maybe bring it to the office and dock it, and it is your main kind of workhorse device there as well. Is there anything you can share about tablets in the 1380?
Other than I can't wait until there's a detachable device with a 1380, like a Lenovo Duet type of device with that power, that kind of processing power. I think that's when you really start turning heads at that point, because now you've got very sleek, a beautiful device, with the performance that goes along with it, with the ARM, capability in terms of being able to design something that's very power efficient, so lightweight and gives you that battery life, throughout the day. So I can't say much other than I would be very excited to see that happen. And, we are working with OEMs to that effect. I think you'll see in general that form factor is getting a lot of attention these days. A number of devices got launched at the MWC in the kind of detachable space. We're seeing it even kind of spill over into the Windows space now. Some OEMs are taking that type of form factor and actually enabling it in the Windows domain. So it is very attractive. And I think, like you, I share the same kind of experience that it would be awesome to have it, and hope to bring that to the market soon.
Yeah, and we we've always just wanted that sort of device, like I was describing, the one that you can kind of take home, throw it in the backpack or just carry it home, not even have to have a backpack. It's thin and light, and you can use it for all your kind of media consumption and content consumption, but then you can also sit down and get your work done on it, right? And dock it
Yep,
to a big monitor and everything. Um,
exactly.
was there one other tier above the like 1380 level that you all talked about at the summit, or am I
Um, I mean,
misremembering something?
right now we kind of have entry, mainstream, premium. You can imagine that a flagship will come about at some
Okay.
point. So we are definitely considering that and working with our partners around that. Now, if you think about Google's strategy, they're also, they've done so well in that sub $350 range, but they also need to break into the 350 to 550, let's say, space.
Right.
We're and the 12, the Kompanio 800 series and the 1000 are going to help specifically to that end. And then I think, yeah, once that gets achieved, you can start to see the segments moving up,
Sure.
and yeah, there could very well be higher tier platforms coming about.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, we have been talking about ARM for so long, and we knew it was coming. We were following a lot of stuff, behind the scenes in the repositories, and we're super excited, and we love it. We love this 1380. We love what you all are doing with that, the 800 and the 828, and yeah, just great work, great work. We really appreciate it. As Chromebook fans, we want options for everybody, and you never know exactly what somebody's use case is going to be. And the more options that we have out there, the better, right? And
Yeah,
I think you
yeah,
all continuing to invest in Chrome OS, shows that the market is maturing, and there's room now for these kind of next level, these kind of, as you all call them, kind of like the up tier devices. And I just, I just love it, and I appreciate you all kind of putting that effort into Chrome OS, right? Because, it's we believe in it. We've been talking about it for a really long time, but it's great to see, chip manufacturers, investing in Chromebooks and building chips that are, with Chromebooks in mind.
yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I think, the iOS folks are enjoying the M1 benefits, and it's nice to seeing some of those same benefits coming into Chrome OS,
Exactly.
right? So
Yes.
that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's really
Yeah.
that risk versus CISC battle, right?
Right.
And the benefits associated with it.
Right. Right. Yeah. And we were talking, about battery life and stuff. Obviously that middle tier is going to give you that really nice balance of performance and battery. We have a MacBook that we use here for video creation and kind of content creation stuff. And we ended up getting the Ultra, the M1 Ultra in this one. It's always that balance of performance and battery life. And I think you all still, we're excited to test more of the 1380, and really, as we get a little bit closer to kind of final production on that device, putting it through some tests and seeing what we can get out of it. We're as I'm sure you can tell, we're most excited about that one. That one's fantastic. We know the other ones have their value, and we're going to continue to talk
Yeah.
about those ones. But that top tier is very intriguing to us.
Yeah. No, same here, same here. And I think, for us, it's going to be continued. Like I said, we'll be refreshing the entry at some point so you get more performance in the sub $350 range.
Hmm.
We'll keep taking ARM and ARM-based processors up the tier. And then in addition to that, MediaTek has a lot of strengths in smartphone, and a lot of folks out there want to see smartphone features in the
Right.
compute devices, right? And I think that's another thing that you'll start to see in terms of more fusion of those types of features, whether it's better cameras, better codecs. The Kompanio 1380 has a very advanced codec, the AV1 codec, that's going to start being enabled by content providers. So all those things are starting to come together, and you'll see kind of those three dimensions
Mm,
where MediaTek will be pursuing.
yeah. Well, hey, Victor, thank you so much for coming on and chatting a little bit. Is there any kind of last things? Is there anything, we started with an intro. Is there anything about maybe the future of Chromebooks for MediaTek, or the kind of closing thoughts here? Anything else you've got here?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, it's very much aligned. MediaTek's been a very close partner and long partner with Google, and Google's doing big investments in these spaces, right? Whether it's education, consumer, enterprise. Consumer, they're looking to enable cloud gaming and detachables and all sorts of features like handwriting recognition and human presence sensing, and works with Chromebooks all in ones. And these are all the areas that we're going to be playing in some form or another. Bringing advanced AI, advanced codecs. So we definitely look forward to contributing more in the Chromebook program, and I'm bringing more value to consumers.
Well, we love to hear that. We love to hear that. Like I said, it's always good to hear folks in the space excited about Chromebooks, because we've been excited about them for a long time, and we think that it's just fantastic to hear somebody like MediaTek investing in Chromebooks, and we love that. So, Victor, thanks so much for taking the time. We really do appreciate it. If anybody is interested in learning more, is the poweredbymediatek.com, is that kind of a good place for folks to go to learn about what MediaTek is offering?
Yeah, we have a landing page specifically for Chromebooks. If you type in MediaTek Chromebooks, it'll show up, and I think that's a good starting point.
Great. Yeah, we'll make sure to link it in our show notes and on the website and everything, so that people can find that. But hey, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, Victor. And for everyone listening, thanks so much for tuning in. And I think that's it for this one. We will catch you all in the next one. See ya. Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Chromecast. If you like this video, head down there, give us a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and make sure to ring the notification bell right next to that if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. We appreciate you all watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.